Hello, Trevor.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Good.
Good.
Looks like we're about ready to go.
Yep, just one more minute.
Let me go ahead and start sharing my slides.
Sounds good.
And slides should be live. Good. All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. I'm John Jeremiah, and I am going to give you the quick functional group update for where we're at with product marketing. I'm excited to be here today. Here's our quick agenda, and we'll have time for discussions as we get through it. I've got a couple of slides to talk about some of the key accomplishments and successes we've had from a product marketing perspective, some of the plans we have coming forward in the future of things we're going to be working on and you can expect to see in the future. And we will have time for Q&A in the chat, and the entire product marketing team is on, so they'll be able to help as well with answering questions. So let's go into some of the key things that we think have been highlights for the last several weeks. First off, Forrester recently published a new wave on where they've analyzed and looked at value stream management tools. We were evaluated, and GitLab was evaluated as a strong performer in this space. You can check it out on the VSM page. We've also been working really hard with both the combination of Dan and the web team. They've been working to evolve and iterate around DevOps tools. And so we're starting to correlate and collect a collection of all the different DevOps tools, and we're starting to build out a repository and more information and insight about the different tools so you can find resources about those tools and learn about them. The comparison page has also been updated significantly. We're continuing to iterate on that. We're moving towards a graphical interface on the comparison page where you can click on a link to look at one tool versus another. At the moment, we're using a series of drop downs, but the comparison is all auto-generated. And so it's a very robust comparison page, and we continue to add more insight to that. If you have feedback or insight about the comparisons that you think either work or don't work, or things that we might be missing, either strengths or weaknesses, we want to add that to that. We want the comparison page to be as honest and insightful as possible to help, one, people understand how we compare against others, but how different tools compare against each other as well. The graphics on the homepage have been updated to try to further improve the interface and to try to help tell the story about how GitLab is really a complete solution for the entire DevOps lifecycle. That's a story we continue to iterate on and try to drive home. We're iterating and working really hard on the Git Swarm migration plan. Tina Sturgis is helping to drive that, and the link is there, and you can double click into the issue and see how we're working towards that of trying to migrate users off of Git Swarm. We've improved the event page and to make it easier to filter and sort and to find different events that you're looking for. We helped with this 11.1 launch, ran a webinar focusing on security and the security issues. Demo pages are updated with more content, and we're iterating on more solutions. We've added several different solution pages to our solutions section, and we continue to evolve and push MVC related to different solutions and solution perspectives, as GitLab is related to helping businesses and customers solve very real problems. Some of the other accomplishments, we've been doing a lot of work on the handbook page to define how we work in product marketing and how we do things. We've introduced pages around customer reference program, analyst relations, competitive intelligence. We run weekly sales enablement. We published a whole list of how to do the sales enablement to stream it on YouTube. And speaking of sales enablement, we've run several of them in the last several weeks, and we continue to run them on a weekly basis. We went to security, double-clicked in, and we went to the Black Hat conference to try to learn more about what's in the market and what's going on. And Cindy has great insight on that. She's working with the product team to share that. And we've done a number of different briefings with analysts. One was Amy DeMartino with Forrester. We've done a handful of other briefings that I didn't have time to add them to this list, but we continue to engage and work with the analyst community to help them understand who GitLab is and what we do, and to help them understand how to think about GitLab. And as we interact with them, we're learning from them, and we're also providing that feedback into the product to help us improve. The website, you'll notice that there's continues to be updates and improvements to the website. We've introduced more insight into the SDLC table with competitors. The graphic now shows that. We're also updating. You've noticed the menu system has been updated. We're continuing to improve the drop downs to the navigation of it. So this is a space that we're iterating and working on to try to continue to drive improvements. And one of the biggest things that we're really working on with regards to the website as we go forward, I think it's in the next slide. Yeah, it's in the next slide, which is what's next. So the toolbar landscape of how we think about the tools is something we're continuing to work on to try to provide more insight, to make it clickable and to make it interactive. And we're also working really hard on trying to describe the different product categories and how they relate to the different DevOps stages, is to provide a better way to navigate, to understand the different values of GitLab and the different value propositions of the different GitLab capabilities. So you'll see us iterate and try to make this simpler and easier to manage, and also simpler and easier for customers and prospects to navigate, to learn. We're working on a couple of different efforts with analysts, both a submission around a Forrester Wave, and we'll be working with Gartner on a publication that they just released, which is about hack your culture. And you'll see that published very soon on the website. And we're working through a couple of issues before we promote that. But that is something coming very soon. And it's really cool because Gartner actually used GitLab as a case study in a report that they did. So they wrote this fantastic report about giving people insight and advice about how do you hack your culture to make your culture faster, to help your organization go faster, improve quality. And they looked and they heard our story, and they learned about how we've evolved, and they used GitLab as an example in that study. It's really cool. And I'll be happy to share it with anybody who's interested in that. We're going to be promoting that in a really big way in the near future. And it just came in last week, so it's fresh off the press, and we're pushing it forward right now. We're working with Gartner on their application release automation or orchestration Magic Quadrant, and that's something we're in the mode of fact-checking right now. That'll be published in the near future, and so we've seen the preliminary results, and we're in the mode of fact-checking that right now before that can get published. And we're continuing to iterate, right? So one other thing I just noticed, I almost forgot here, next week we have our kickoff of our customer advisory board. So we want to bring customers together, and we want to start to get feedback and interact with them and share success stories and best practices. And so this is a process that we're just initiating next week. We're going to have our kickoff meeting with a subset of customers to help us establish the process and how we're going to do things. And so more to come on that in the near future. And as you can see in the list, we have a whole host of different website updates that we're continuing to iterate to improve the website and to improve the experience. Let's see. We have the last slide before I turn it to you for Q&A, and we go to the chat for questions and answers and discussion, is how can you help us? First off, we're hiring. So we have an open requisition for a technical product marketing manager, and that is posted, and we're actively looking to recruit and to add and to grow the team. Additionally, we want to get to know customers. We want to connect with customers. So if you want to introduce us to your customers, we want to learn. We want to hear from them. We're always looking for success stories, and we're looking for case studies. And so we're looking to learn. This is an opportunity for us to learn from them and to help share our insight with those customers. Help us understand. We want to know from the sales team and from the field, what works, what helps win deals, and what are the reasons why we don't. So this helps us to further refine the content, refine the messaging that we're putting forward on the website, we're putting forward in the decks. And we want to know, we really do want to know from you what works, what doesn't work, and so that we can continue to improve and get better together. Because really that's how we all work, is by collaborating and sharing with each other, is how we get better and how we improve. couple of ways to reach us. We're on Slack. You can find us there. You can email us as well. And if you're interested in looking at the different things we're working on, here's the link. Here's links to 3 different boards: one for design, one for the website, and one for the main product marketing, along with how to track it and track what we're doing and to see where we're at. And if you want to know how we're managing those things, the handbook link is also provided here. And so with that, I think we have a little bit of time for questions and discussion. And I will bring up the chat. See if we have any comments in chat. Don't see anything in the Zoom chat. And Q&A. I will stand by for questions or feedback. Trevor, am I missing it? Are there questions?
Like somebody raised their hand. I just allowed them to talk. So let's see if you have a question.
Awesome.
Hey, John, it's Mark Bell.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning. Hey, maybe a little off topic, but every Thursday we do sales enablement. And I'm just wondering, is there a process for us to weigh in on topics and suggest things?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an issue board that we maintain. It's on, let me see if I can go back a couple of slides. There is an issue board where we have posted, where we're tracking and capturing future topics. And that's how we input, or our intake for suggestions or ideas. Let's see.
Great.
Let me see if I can navigate back. I think I had a link to it here. If I don't, well, just click on the sales enablement link from here. This will take you to the sales enablement page in the handbook. And from there, it has a link to the issue board where you can post questions. I think it's on the main product marketing issue board is where it goes. I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. So if you were to click here to this issue board, you could add an issue and tag it. William is curating that list. And if we see anything new come in, we add it to the agenda.
That's cool. I just made a post on the product marketing Slack channel, so I assume you guys will all see that too. So,
yep, I saw the post while I was talking. It caught my attention. You might have noticed I was distracted, but yeah, let's do that, Mark, and I'll reply to you on there I'll revise it, make sure we have the right link.
Okay, and then on that same topic, John, I think that a half an hour a week is a really cool way to do it, but then I also think there are times when we probably need to go deeper. Are there any thoughts around like a quarterly half day or something to really dive in on some of these more technical topics, or is that not in consideration?
I think it's a great idea. And thank you for raising it. I think I agree with you that a lot of times going deeper is needed on topics. So I'll add that to the list, and we'll talk it over with the team and the sales leaders, and we'll figure out how can we do that. Because I think you're right. When we think about some specific either whether it's, and these are topics where we might want to do role plays, we might want to do other kinds of activities that will be more interactive and engaging. So let me take that back to the sales leadership team, and we'll come up with a plan.
Thanks, John.
So I'm in the chat. I also see Larry Beagle. Thank you, Larry. That I mentioned a customer advisory board next week, and is there anything being planned at the summit? And thank you, Kim. You answered it on the fly, is that there are some customers that will be at the summit, and Kim is actually working with them on their presentations. And while they're at the summit, the customers who are going to be there with us in South Africa, they're going to be sharing their success stories and some of the insight about what they're doing. So we're actively doing that. And so Kim is on point for that. And Kim Locke, if you want to ping her for details, she can let you know. And Kim is also on point for the customer advisory board for us initiating that. We're just trying to get this process started. Our intent when we get done with it, once we get it started, is if the members of the customer advisory board agree, we want to try to live stream or stream these events and publish them. So we're going to initially kick off and get to know each other and talk about our objectives next week. And then once we've agree on how we're going to operate together and our shared objectives, then my intent and our intent is to step forward and live stream then. If you want to learn about that, we have it's listed, it's included in the handbook page on the customer references section. We've detailed out what to expect from the customer advisory board. Anybody else? Questions? In the chat or raise your hand. Trevor can bring you in. All right, I'm not seeing anyone. Trevor, have you seen anyone raise their hand?
Nope, we're good.
I think we're awesome. So thank you all so very much. I'll give you 15 minutes back and we'll see everyone on the company call shortly. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.